Hello student, today I'm going to start a new chapter called Biomolecules. Okay, now this is a very interesting chapter because every living organisms, okay, it may be plants, it may be animals, okay, every living organisms, it can be plant cells, it can be animal cells, it can be fungal cells, okay, we are made up of some chemical soup. Okay, when we say chemical, now we're going to discuss a little bit about the chemistry here in a living organisms. You may be thinking why I'm going to discuss about the chemistry here, because the living organisms are made up of various elements. Okay, now if you compare the earth, okay, the earth that we are sustaining, okay, we are living here on the surface of the earth, okay, on the earth crust, we are absorbing the nutrients, okay, from the earth. Okay, now if you compare the earth crust and a living system, or it can be just say a non-living system, non-living, just say the piece of earth or earth crust, or a living system or living organisms. Okay, now as I say that the living organisms, okay, including human beings, okay, we have various elements. We are made up of various elements. So we have to know, like, what is the difference between the non-living or the living organisms? What are they made up of, or what are the composition in an earth crust, or what are the composition of a living organisms? And after analyzing, okay, after performing various experiments, or after analyzing, it is found that we are more similar. The composition of the earth crust and the living organisms are almost similar. For example, we find hydrogen or nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, sulfur. So in the living organisms also, those elements are found. Those elements are found even in the living organisms. So let's try to discuss what's the meaning of biomolecules. Okay, so there was one experiment. Okay, just say that the living, taking the living organisms or the living tissues, okay, just say vegetables, okay, a piece of tissue like vegetables, you can take vegetables, it is a plant, okay, you can take a liver tissues, okay, any piece of liver, you know what is liver, right? We have a liver, right? So just say that these are tissues. Okay, now put in a pestle, okay, your pestle, and then mortar, and then just say that this is your vegetable. You grind it, okay, you pestle it, you grind it, and then put trichloroacetic acid, okay. Trichloroacetic acid is Cl3 CCOOH. This is carboxylic group, and then you will find 3 halogen atoms. So this is trichloroacetic acid. And then you will find 2 fractions. For example, this is a test tube, and put in a cotton. Just say I put a cotton here, and then if you put this, okay, you will find a filtrate, and this filtrate is said to be the acid soluble portion. Acid soluble portion, or just say pool. Then above, okay, the surface of the cotton, you will find acid insoluble pool. Okay, so further experiment, after analyzing, it is found that most of the organic compounds, when I say organic compounds, most of the organic compounds, okay, like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, okay, these are found in the acid pool. acid soluble pool. Okay, so any compounds, when I say biomolecules, okay, any carbon compounds, there was a little bit difference in the abundance or the presence of the occurrence, that in the living system or living organisms we found mostly carbon compounds. Okay, in the earth crust we found less amount, but in the living tissues, in the living tissues or living organisms, the carbon compounds was maximum around 68%. Okay, now if you compare in your textbook in page number 143, you will find that the carbon compounds, it is showing some around 18.5%. This is your carbon, this is 18.5. Okay, so this is about the, when I say biomolecule, any carbon compounds, okay, that will be considered as a biomolecules. Okay, now if you compare, okay, now just say that you take a tissues, okay, leaf, okay, but in the living system you'll find even inorganic compounds. Okay, you'll find even inorganic compounds. For example, some of the elements, just say that in the form of magnesium, calcium, okay, these are inorganic compounds. Just say sodium ion, okay, it may be in the form of calcium ion, okay, in the form of sodium chloride, the common salt, right, in our sweat, okay, we have a sodium chloride, right? So some of the inorganic compounds, just say that we call S. What is the meaning of S? Just say that you take a leaf, okay, you dry it. After dry, what happened? The water, right? The water will be removed, right? So just say oxidized, and then once it is dried, it means that there will be oxidation, and then this will be removed, carbon dioxide plus water vapor, right? If you burn it, right, after drying, if you burn it, okay, so if you dry, you can take a dry weight. After that you burn it, then just say oxidize it, then carbon dioxide and water. So the remaining, so the carbon from this leaf, okay, the carbons are removed, right? The carbons are eliminated in the form of carbon dioxide and water vapor. So this, the remaining after burning, whatever that is remained, okay, that will be considered as S. And this S does not contain carbon. It contains only inorganic compounds, like in the form of sulfate, okay, sulfate SO4 2 minus, okay, in the form of phosphate, okay, so in the form of sulfate and phosphate, okay. Now let's discuss about the another biomolecules called as so these are inorganic compounds, okay. And then when you get any living cells, and then if we find any carbon compounds, that will be considered as biomolecules, okay. So biomolecules are, we have an organic compound and we also have inorganic compounds also, and that will be found even in the acid soluble portion, okay. Now after the next topic, that is your amino acids, very common. This is very important, okay, very important for your competitive examination also, okay. So this is, in these amino acids, if we compare it, if you see, these are having a general formula. They have a general formula called as your carbon. So this is your carboxylic group, and then you will find an amino group. This is your amino group, okay, and this is your acidic carboxylic group, You know, carboxylic are acidic in nature, okay. Why acidic? We'll discuss later on. So this is your H and this is your R. So R means alkyl group, any alkyl group, alkyl or aryl group, aryl group. So this, after functional group, this carbon is said to be your alpha carbon. That's why we also call as alpha amino acids. Okay. So these are the derivative of methane actually. For example, methane is CH4, carbon number 1. See. So from methane, this is your methane, and in methane you take out 1, 2, 3 hydrogen, and then we are introducing carboxylic group, we are introducing amino group, and then we get a amino acids, and R is a alkyl group. Based on the R, there are 20 different kinds of amino acids in our living system. Okay, in our living systems there are 20 amino acids, naturally occurring amino acids. Okay, so let's discuss. Okay, let's discuss about the types of the amino acids. Now, amino acids can also be written in the form of, we have different kinds of amino acids based on the R group. Okay, if you change the R, just say this is your, in your textbook, you will find like that, COOH, H, and H2. So if you change R, just say in R, if you put H, okay, just say in R, I'm going to put H. So this is glycine. Okay, if you put in R, there was an R, right? So if you put CH3, it becomes alanine. Okay, like this. If you keep on changing R, you will find different kinds of amino acids. If I put, for example, CH2OH, this is hydroxylamine. So this is serine. Okay, so those students who are preparing for your medical examinations, for your NEET examinations for 2000, after 2 years, okay, then this, in your room, you must write all the amino acids and paste in your own study table. Okay, all the 20 amino acids with their structure, you have to know it, because these amino acids are responsible for the production of your protein. Okay, when a body synthesizes protein, the proteins are nothing but the, when I say protein, so this is amino acids. So when many amino acids, the polymers of amino acids, see, I am writing, joining amino acids. So these polymers of amino acids are nothing but protein. Okay, so this is very important to know. That's why I'm saying that you must try to remember all the 20 amino acids. Okay, so I've just given some example, few example. Likewise, we have example like phenylalanine, we have tyrosine. Okay, we have, as I said, then we have glutamic acid. Okay, so let's discuss about the types of your amino acids. We have acidic amino acids. Acidic amino acids, this is nothing but glutamic acid. Okay, and then we have basic amino acids. It's very interesting. So this year this question was asked, and then this question was asked in both chemistry and then biology. Similar questions. Okay, for example, identify the basic amino acids. So these basic amino acids, or second question was, even in the chemistry, it was that which of the following is the basic amino acids? See, so in these two questions was asked in 2020 in examinations. So and the answer was lysine. So this is your basic amino acid. Likewise, we have neutral amino acids, valine. We have aromatic amino acids. Aromatic means there is a benzene ring. Aromatic amino acids. When we say aromaticity, okay, there are certain properties of aromaticity, and then when we say aromatic, it's about aroma, a pleasant smelling. Okay, so these aromatic amino acids like tyrosine, phenylalanine, these are some of the example of the like tryptophan. Okay, so these are some of the amino acids, different kinds of amino acids based on the categories. It may be acidic, it can be basic, it can be neutral, it can be even aromatic amino acids. So you'll be learning this more in the class 12 in biomolecules, both in chemistry and even in the biology also. So now let's discuss about the when we say that these amino acids can form, it can change its form. Okay, just say that this is your R, and then this is your carbon, and then this is your carboxylic group H, and this is your just say amino group. Now they can change its form. Okay, likewise R, say COO minus, then NH3 plus, and this is your H. So this form is said to be your zwitterion form. Okay, zwitterion. Okay, so this is very important. Amino acids. Okay, so there are different kinds of 20 natural amino acids that is found in a living system. Now the next topic is your the lipids. When we say lipids, lipids are usually your water insoluble. They are not soluble in water, water insoluble. So there are different kinds of lipids. For example, simple, we can also say as fatty acids, simple fatty acids. Okay, example like just say RCOOH. So palmitic acid, okay, carbon number just say CH214, and then this is CH3, and then if I join COH, this is palmitic acid. Okay. Likewise, we have glycerol, CH2OH, CH2OH, and then CH2OH. So these are all lipids. Okay, simple lipids. Glycerol. This is very common. Glycerol. So these are some of the examples of the lipids. So I would like to say that when I say oil or fats, you can distinguish, there's a difference between oil and fat. Oil has a low melting point. Low melting point. So you may be thinking that both are similar, both are different, okay, based on the melting point. Whereas oil has low melting point. It means that the fat has higher melting point. Example like cholesterol. Cholesterol. CHOLES, okay, cholesterol. So in the next class, this is an introduction of your biomolecules. In the next class, we are going to discuss about the nucleic acids, okay, nucleic acids and the protein. Thank you.